Hey guys, welcome to Programmer Guide for Docker tutorials. Today we'll be discussing about the difference between the Entrypoint and CMD command in Docker image file. So let's understand the scenario and the difference with an OS image. You run a Docker run CentOS. So it will just pull a CentOS image from the Docker Hub repository and it will create a container in your Docker system. But you can see that when you list down the docker ps-m with that command, you can see that CentOS container is exited, right? So why it is exited? If you open the Docker file from your Docker Hub, you can see CentOS last command is cmd in a bracket bin bash, right? So bin bash is just a normal, it is expecting some command. It's a normal terminal, it's expecting some command to be executed. If you are not passing any command or you are not saying ubuntu to do some of the activities, definitely it will be exited. So container is not like a VM, right? So until and unless you assign some process inside the container, let's say some web server is running or some database is running or your some custom application is running, as long as that process is running, container is running. Otherwise, process will be destroyed, container will also be destroyed. So here in this case for CentOS, it's a bin bash. It is expecting some command to be passed from outside, or you use this image as a scratch image and build your own image. But in this case, in a normal greenfield environment where only CentOS we are using, it is not having any extra parameter we are passing, and that's why it is getting exited. Okay. Let's understand the scenario with another example. Now if you pass docker run CentOS with a command like sleep10, so what will happen? The actual bin bash command will be overridden by the sleep command. And here also you can see in the difference also, the command is also written as a sleep10 in the docker ps. Now what will happen now? It will just override the cmd command and it will container will be stay alive for 10 seconds only. As soon as the sleep 10 is over, container is once again will be exited. Now to do that, what we want to do actually, we want to create a CentOS sleeper image instead of passing this kind of sleep 10 parameter. How you can do that? The example is like this. Now you want to create a build a new image like CentOS sleeper, and the docker file should be look like this. From CentOS cmd sleep 10, right? There is another way we can also create like this from CentOS in a bracket sleep, 10. The first one is directly passing the actual command. And there is another way is a cmd in a bracket sleep 10. It's like a JSON file. The first parameter has to be always an executable. And second one should be an argument. Any of the command can have multiple argument also. Only the first one should be a executable. The rest of the things should be parameters of that. If you still run docker run CentOS sleeper sleep 20, now with that what will happen? Actual sleep 10 command also will be overridden by the sleep 20 command in this scenario also. Now the one thing is, we have created a CentOS sleeper image, right? It doesn't make any sense to pass another parameter like sleep. We just wanted to pass just a normal argument, right? Like docker run CentOS 10 or CentOS 20 or CentOS 30, like some kind of parameter only, not like the actual sleep 20. So for that we need to use Entrypoint. Your docker file should be looks like from CentOS Entrypoint should be sleep. This is the one. Now here is the problem is there. Now if you run docker run CentOS sleeper right now it will give an error, right? Because we are not passing any argument and we are not specifying also in the entry point what should be the default argument on that. So in that case it will immediately give you an error. So to mitigate this problem, what we need to do actually, we have to use Entrypoint and CMD together. Now in this scenario, by default it always sleep for 10 seconds with this parameter with Entrypoint and CMD combinations. But if you wanted to pass any of these parameter, like if you wanted to pass a parameter and wanted to sleep for 30 seconds or 40 seconds, that time you just need to pass as a docker run CentOS sleeper space 30 seconds. So that time only CMD parameter will be overridden, but for that we don't need to pass the sleep command once again. Now if you wanted to change the Entrypoint parameter on a runtime environment, what will be the command for that? Here is the command for that. Docker run --Entrypoint. You can even update the sleep with the cat command. Next one is sleep CentOS sleeper, that is the image, and instead of command cmd10 we are overriding as etc.host. That's how we can do the Docker image much more efficiently. So the summary of this is actually Entrypoint and CMD. It's just a complementing each other. For when you are creating your own image, that time you always use both the parameters properly, so that if you are not passing the argument on your image, it should still work. And if you wanted to override also, that's the case also. Both the cases also, it should serve properly. So that's it for now. Thank you guys. Hope to see you in the next tutorials.